Need some layers up there.
But how about this? I just mentioned this. Most 35-point games after turning 35 years old. LeBron James, whenever you're in that category, with Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James, they're doing something pretty damn good. There's a lot of talk about Steph Curry right now being considered for the GOAT, one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest skill players of all time. But you just see the fans. And again, I am amazed that he's 36 years old. He's about to turn 37 in a week or two, or March 13th, I believe. He's playing like he's 27, Zena. He's moving around. He's finding his shots. He feels reinvigorated with his Jimmy Butler trade.
When LeBron James made the 50,000 point, it was about longevity, but it was also about availability. And that same adjective can be put towards Stephen Curry, finding his way to the court, especially when you think about what's going on this season with the knee issue, et cetera. You're now seeing him still playing significant minutes each night and being able to still be the Stephen Curry we've always known him to be a person that could put that three ball up, someone that can see the floor, see his teammates, run around and direct traffic while there are three bodies being thrown at him. This is the Stephen Curry that allows him to be in that category and will be in that category for as long as he plays.
Yeah, that's an amazing list, first of all. But to me, I think about the work ethic, the discipline, the conditioning, the fitness level that Steph stays at to be able to perform at this level at this point in his career. And then I mentioned earlier the awareness and the passion to do it. Because Steph Curry, more than probably LeBron's up there, but more than any other player in recent memory, he has to go out. I mean, there's almost a responsibility to put a show on. Right? Getting 40 is one thing, but taking care of the fans pregame. We saw him postgame. This is on a road trip, Bonte. We're sitting here. We can hear the crowd. It's like a home crowd. That's added pressure for some people. For Steph, he just embraces it and loves it. It's grateful to do it. It's an amazing way that he lives his life on and off the floor. It really is. He's just so graceful about it, and it's something really to marvel at.
One of the greatest showmen we've ever seen in NBA history, right? Who would even be on that list alongside Stephen Curry? It's just entertainers. Magic Johnson, Larry. I mean,
there's a lot. But for this generation, and the way Steph does it is very unique.
And it's also important because he wasn't this guy at Davidson. He wasn't coming into the league to be a showman. You could say that about Magic Johnson, right? This was not the character that Steph expected himself to become, so he has aged perfectly into this role.
And he's just literally changed because the shots he takes, back in the day, you'd get benched for.
The shot, we didn't even bring up the shot with him right before halftime. And it's just a heave, and he went back to the locker room. And we both looked at each other and I said, yeah, that might be game right there.
Oh, it's game, all right.
Zena, your back going to be okay for Saturday? You need a sub? Do we need a six?
Listen, I'm going to be Jimmy Butler coming right back.
Let's go.
There you go. Get the wrap on the back.
Let's roll. Man. Let's go.
Women's Empowerment broadcast coming at you Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Coverage begins right here at NBC Sports Bay Area. More coming up here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live, as we'll give you a little snippet of our conversation with Mike Dunleavy, Monty Poole, and I. That's the Statue of Liberty there as we take a look at the best record since February 8th. And you got the Cleveland Cavaliers who are rolling. They've had 3 different 12-game winning streaks. Cleveland's legit. It's going to be fun to watch some of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We know about Oklahoma City. The Detroit Pistons are coming to town Saturday, playing some good basketball. The Lakers with Luka Doncic.
How's the weather down there, Lakers?
But the Warriors at 10-2. 2 games behind the Cavaliers, so they have one of the best records since February 8th. So, Zena, with that record said, I'll ask you first. Can we start to consider this team, the Golden State Warriors, who've done this without Jonathan Kuminga, are they legit contenders out west?
I'm going to wait to answer that. And the reason why is because these wins, though great, and though loving the stats within these wins for the Warriors, I've still not seen them do this against a legitimate competitor, a full legitimate competitor. The New York Knicks was an impressive win, but they were missing 24 points from Cat, and that's important. Saturday is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge litmus test for me to be able to see the Warriors go up against a big-time scorer in Cade Cunningham, how you contain him, go up against 2 bigs that want to fight in the paint, in Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren, and then also the defensive intensity all around the Detroit Pistons. I think this is going to be a really great test for the Warriors, and then we'll see. So ask me then.
I respect that answer because I'm looking at the 7-game homestand. I'm going to reserve my judgment, Willie. So I'm seeing on this homestand the New York Knicks, the Sacramento Kings, the Denver Nuggets, the Milwaukee Bucks. Those are 4 big-time teams fighting for something in this league.
Yeah, I'm going to say what I've watched since Jimmy Butler has gotten here, they are a legitimate threat to get to the Western Conference Finals.
Ooh.
The reason being, Bontes, I would say the same about Oklahoma City, who's dominated this Western Conference. But I don't think there's a lot of teams that feel outmatched in a 7-game series, that there's not something they can do to compete with that team, with all due respect to them, because they've been great all season long. Same with Denver. So even the top, the Lakers, I think teams feel like if they could get it to LeBron and Luka, right, and force role plays to beat them, they have a chance there. So to me, what I've seen with Jimmy Butler, it's such a drastic change. You get them in the proper matchup. They have time to prepare. I feel very confident that they can win at least 2 rounds in the playoffs. Right now.
Right.
Now, I may even go a little further after the 7-game homestand.
Ooh,
right. Yeah.
I like where Willie's got right now.
It's fair. It's absolutely fair. Because the playoffs is different.
It is
You
different.
do have the time to game plan and adjust.
And now they got 2 incredible closers.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing, we mentioned all the stats with the free throws, the points of turnovers, Steph Curry 9 minutes, but you got 2 big-time playmakers.
What GP2 say?
To win ball games.
It's about to get scary down the line?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Scary hours.
Absolutely believe
No,
that.
I'm intrigued. Okay, Jimmy Butler, look at him. Is he getting up? Back spasms? Think of the pass. You see Draymond holding the ball, looking for Jimmy buckets. Nice little alley-oop. D-Lo, get your hands up.
And
one there for Jimmy
Well,
buckets.
this is just beautiful recognition by Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Anytime he has a small on him, he's going to bury him. And he said, just put it up there, I'll go get it. The easiest baskets in the world are in the paint. Jimmy Butler dominates down there.
And Draymond loves giving him that pass. You've been seeing that, just finding an opportunity. I wish we had a better angle. That was kind of a risky pass from the top of the key down to the block. But either way, Draymond being able to just throw it up there and getting the touch on it is really great.
The trust is there.
Well, we also said, how much Jimmy Butler has impacted his teammates in a great way. But just think about that play there. The fact that they can space out the 3-point line and just have Jimmy Butler all by himself, his teammates are helping him also. Just so I know you spoke to Mike Dunleavy, the perfect fit for this team.
No doubt about that. Jimmy Butler with 25 points, matching his high since joining the Golden State Warriors. 10-10 from the free throw line. The last warrior to make at least 10 free throws without a miss was Jordan Poole back in 2023. Speaking of Mike Dunleavy, our exclusive interview with Mike Dunleavy, Monty Poole and I, Dubs Talk podcast coming up immediately after Dubs Talk Live. And it was a lot of fun as he talked and discussed about the fit with Jimmy Butler.
Surprised at all about how seamless it has looked so far with Jimmy?
I don't think so, just because knowing the player that he is, the competitor that he is, just how cerebral he is, those types of players can usually fit in pretty quickly. And he's been able to do that. And again, I think just the attitude and the confidence he's brought to our group has just grown on us exponentially. And so for that reason, it's been pretty seamless. I'd also point out, I think we've had a complimentary schedule with some of the teams we played. It's kind of fit to our style. And so it's enabled us to get off to a good start with him. And hopefully we can keep that going.
Go back to the beginning when there were a lot of names being floated. You guys were pursuing multiple players at some point. What led you down the path to Jimmy? What were the forces that took you down that road?
Well, I think first and foremost, we had to get better. We had to get better on the basketball court, but we needed to get better emotionally. I think, like I said, we lost our way. And so to be able to accomplish those two things, there's not many players out there that can do that. And I felt like Jimmy was one of those guys. And it's tough in this league to make trades because there's very few really good players that are available. And in this case, Jimmy was. And, we know about the stuff in Miami, but because of that, he was a player we could trade for. And so when it got down to it, there's only so many options. Obviously, we explored a lot of stuff this summer throughout this season, but looking back on it all, really, really pleased to be able to get a player of Jimmy's caliber for kind of what we gave up in terms of youth and assets and all that. And I think he's going to be a great fit here.
Still have a lot of young players like Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga who are returned soon. But when did Jimmy Butler kind of land on your radar here? Because as Monty mentioned, there was a lot of names, right? Last summer, Paul George, Larry Markkinen. This year, there's Kevin Durant. There's all these different trades here. When did Jimmy first, when you identify him as saying, this guy could fit with what we do and give us that jolt that we need this season?
Well, I think whenever I started employment with the Warriors, we look back how long that's been, but I've always felt like Jimmy would be a great ad. As recently as, last summer, I've been knocking on that door and, things evolved there in Miami with him and his contract. And, looking to go elsewhere. So fortunately for us, right time, right place, and we were able to make the deal. But Jimmy's a guy I think I've always felt like with this group, again, with his IQ, his cutting, his passing, his off-ball defense, all these things. I know people bring up the shooting and how's that going to work and how's that going to fit, but it goes way beyond that. And he's such a good fit for our style of play, our coaching staff, and our players. So really pleased to have him and looking forward to enjoy watching it.
How much of a factor was it that you were teammates with Jimmy, where you had that intel saying, hey, look, I know this person. I know what he's about off the court, on the court. How much did that impact making the deal for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a comfort level there, to be honest, having gone through with him in the playoff battles and knowing what he is as a teammate, how coachable he is as a player. I was comfortable with that despite some of the stuff being put out there. And I think through this all, I think people sort of forgot about how good of a player he is. Which is the most important thing. And he's starting to show that for us, and we're lucky to have him. So I'm glad we can make that move and want to enjoy the rest of the season here.
All right, Dubs Talk podcast coming up after Dubs Talk Live. But up next, Highlight Zone. Plenty to choose from here on Toyota Warriors. Post-game live. Stick around, folks. Rockets taking on the Pelicans in the Big Easy at the Smoothie King Center. 9 minutes left in the fourth. Rockets up 15. This was a close game in the first half, but Ahmed Thompson dishes it to Şengün for the easy bucket.
Murph.
5 minutes left.
Trey
Murphy's the third. I like him a lot.
Ooh, he's nasty.
Big three. A few possessions later. Look at Zion Williamson get the offensive rebound.
He's been looking
Lays it
nasty.
in. Rockets only up 7. Pelicans trying to make a run here, but Ahmed Thompson. Look at this tough layup right here.
Ooh.
He is a tough young player right there. Rockets outlast the Pelicans by 12. Ahmed Thompson, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Şengün with 22 points, 7 assists. Trey Murphy III finished with 26 and 5 as we take a look at the wild Western standings. Zena, give it to us.
Yeah.
That's how you fight through adversity right there. As we take a look, the Warriors in the 6th spot, 3 games behind the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are looking behind their shoulders at the Warriors, but also the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Warriors just 4 back of the Grizzlies. So if they can get to the 4 or 5 spot, that will be huge. You may avoid the Lakers and Nuggets until the Western Finals. I'm already looking ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself, Z. I know, but as long as they're not in that play-in tournament, we're not talking about juice boxes right now, Z.
The biggest thing right now, look at those 3 teams you're talking about. Memphis, Houston, Warriors. Who has the most veteran experience out of the 3?
Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors can get it done, regardless of where they end up. If they stay in that 1 through 6, they're more likely to be able to find themselves in positions to win than we've seen from the Memphis Grizzlies or the Houston Rockets.
I mean, Steph Curry post-game gave us a nice measured feeling of how he feels about this team. And I think the feeling, they feel great about the way they're playing. They want to maintain that. And then as you're doing that, you're going to put pressure on that Houston Rockets team. Just keep doing what you're doing. They got a nice 7-game homestand coming up. So just impressive across the board.
No doubt. Now let's take a look at the odds presented by Great Resort and Casino. Look, man, shooters shoot. So it was an 11-point spread early, and I felt like, man, that's a lot of juice here, but I talked myself into it. It's all good. We've been on a heater, bully.
Well, especially when they were down 20 after 1 quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't help. But they were up 10 late, and then Brooklyn, they covered.
Game of runs.
Game of runs. Let's hear from Day-Day, who just turned 35 years old. He's at the podium.
Draymond, Steph has never dropped 40 against the Nets in 25 games, actually, until tonight. You think he consciously went into the game tonight thinking, I'm going to drop 40?
So, I saw this graphic the other day, and it showed his career high against everybody, and I screenshot it, and I was going to send it to him. I didn't. But Steph is he's not selfish, but he's very calculated. So if I had to guess, he knew.
There's one more team left he hasn't dropped 40 on, and you play them next.
I saw that.
What do you think about that? You think that's happening next game?
Let's not piss the Pistons off.
Fair enough.